What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today is the preview of the upcoming Monday night Chicago Bears game against the Washington Commanders. And this is a game where, again, I told y'all before the season even started, and I told y'all this was going to be the thing where the Washington and the NFC as a whole got a lot of beefs going on. And this is the second beef game. Again, we're talking about the fact that we dealt with the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons got their lick back. Now hit pause. Now all of a sudden we got the Chicago Bears coming in and they're looking for revenge. They're looking for some revenge. They're looking to get back at us and get back the win that they thought they were going to have when they came here the last time. And it's, again, they're coming to the Fed trap. And remember, there were a lot of Chicago Bears fans that was on social media, that was on the internet, live at the game, sat up there and thought that their team had won that game. And sure enough, Super Jaden, along with the assistance of the very reliable Terry McLaurin, which is kind of crazy because I think Terry and Noah may be out this game as well, which may impact what's going on. But again, you're talking about both of those guys came up big time. And Washington rips the win away from the Chicago Bears at the last minute, sending a lot of Chicago fans back to Chicago or home disappointed that their team didn't come out with a win. And with that being said, we are now at a point where here we are at 3-2. It's now time to rip off some wins. I think that offensively we're there. We are again, I'm not certain about this, but from all accounts right now, it seems like this will be another game Terry might miss, and this might be a game that Noah Brown might miss. And that is very significant when it comes to this game, because if neither one of them are playing in this game, remember those two guys had the biggest impacts in the game. Like they made the most out of that game, and they had the biggest contributions to that last game. So with Jade not having them two on the field, possibly not having them two on the field, could be a very impactful thing. Bill looked great last week. Bill is actually going up against a defense that's not stellar, but it has been shown to find a way to kind of stop runs. So they are able to do it. But again, I think we can probably come out and really do it. Defensively, we're going up against an offensive line that's not stellar, but it's also not bad like the Raiders' offensive line was. And it's not bad like the Chargers' offensive line was. It's not even close to being as bad as the Giants' offensive line. So far, these guys have gotten a couple games together, and they look decently solid because they're actually not giving up a lot of sacks. And with that, that's going to be problematic if our front four and our defensive linemen don't get to Caleb Williams. Again, that's going to be very key because he's another one. You get to him, you can rattle him very early on. His thing is that what we will probably want to do is try our best to keep him in the pocket more. The reason why is because his whole thing is getting out of the pocket, running around and making plays. Well, what if you forced him to be more of a traditional quarterback? What if you forced him into the pocket, had him stay in the pocket with no ability to actually move around? Now, I'm not sitting here saying let him just stand in the pocket. I'm just saying, let's see what he can do where he doesn't have the ability to scramble or get free or get open or find an open space so he can throw the ball. Let's see what we can do there. This is also a team that, when it comes to their receiving core, is a very dangerous group. You know, you got Ozuma, you got DJ Moore, and now you got Luther Burden, who's actually their version of Deebo Samuel. He does a lot of things in the game, so he's a very problematic guy. They also have somewhat of a running game going on, especially with DeAndre Swift. He's actually looking very good this season. So again, this is not going to be a game where we can just act like we're going to just overtake the Chicago Bears, because this is one of those games where we could easily mess around and lose if we don't take them as seriously as we should. Now, again, it goes on their side too. If they don't take us as seriously, even if we're without Terry and Noah, if they don't take us as seriously as they should, they can end up in a situation where we end up beating them, and beating them badly, and this time not letting them get back into the game, because that's what happened the last time. We let them back into the game, and they almost ripped off a win. So this is one where if we get the big lead, we keep it going. We don't stop. We don't sit up there and act like we don't know what's going on. Another thing, let's try not to start slow. We cannot start slow in this game. If we start slow in this game, we can end up like we did in the Chargers game. We can end up falling behind very quickly, and then having to muster up everything to get ourselves back into the game and able to do it. From what I think is happening, I'm not certain if they did announce it, but Jalen Johnson, their number one cornerback, may be back. And that is big, because he's a guy that can actually travel with the number one receiver, which means that he will make it problematic when it comes to a guy like Deebo Samuel. He's one of the more aggressive corners. I remember talking about him. For y'all who follow me in my draft thing, I told y'all the year he was coming out, he was the best cornerback in the draft. And I said his aggression, he's the most aggressive and most ready cornerback of everybody in the draft. And now here we are. And again, I'm not certain, because so far they haven't put him on IR. They haven't said he was going to be out, but he might be back for this game. So again, this is a big one. This is one that, team, like I said, there's a lot of beefs going on in the NFC. And right now, I think everyone right now is battling early for playoff spots in the NFC, because this could come down to somewhere between a 4 to 5 team playoff race for wild card spots, and jockeying for the first round bye, because everybody so far has been battling at each other and has been sitting up there going at each other. So I'm going to tell y'all, this is not the season to be playing around. If there are teams that you're supposed to beat, you got to beat them. And this is one of these teams that you have to beat. You cannot play around with the Chicago Bears. You cannot fool around with the Chicago Bears. You cannot take the Chicago Bears lightly. So with that, we have to be on our P's and Q's in this game. This is not a sleeper game. And again, Jaden needs to step up big, because again, we saw what Jaden can do. We were glad that he was back. He has to step up again in this game. We have to see Jaden in this game sit up there and keep doing what he was done, because again, we were glad to see that the rust was off of him against this most recent game. So now we want to see more from Jaden now. And again, hopefully again, maybe Terry might be back, maybe Noah might be back, but for right now, it doesn't look like they will be available for this game, and they were key contributors in the last game. And again, like I said, Jalen Johnson could be back in this game, the cornerback for Chicago. Not really certain, but he could be back. But we'll definitely see how this goes. And with that, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm excited about what's happening right now. I do feel that Washington does have an opportunity to really win this game. I hope that the defensive line really showcases what's going on. I think that our running game will have a massive impact in this game. I think that what will happen is that our strategy will be to keep the offense on the field as long as possible, to not only wear down the Chicago defense, but also make sure that quick strike Chicago offense doesn't end up in, so we don't end up in a situation where we end up in this massive shootout at the end of the day. So with that, my prediction is Washington will win this game 35-23. I think Washington will come in here. Washington will be in this game, and I think they will dominate this game because I think that they're on a mission to prove that they're not a fluke team. And right now, already this early in the season, teams, especially in the NFC, teams are already jockeying for playoff position. So with that, Washington has to keep pace as well. They have to come out of this 4-2. They cannot play around because, again, this is not an easy NFC. And like I said, everybody in the NFC got beefs with each other. So we got to sit up there and keep pace, especially with these NFC games. We cannot fall back in these NFC games. We got to win as many as possible. We already lost one with the Green Bay game. We cannot lose anymore. Y'all tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel about this upcoming game? Do y'all feel like I feel that Washington's going to come away with a win? How do y'all feel if Terry and Noah is out? Two key contributors that worked in the last game. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, subscribe, and comment. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and it's been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.